a very traumatic event.
Hello, good to see you again.
Hello. Good.
Hello, good
Hello,
to see
Vienna.
you. Hello, good to see you. Hello,
Hi.
good to see you. Good to see you again. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hello, Vienna.
Hello,
Congratulations on making it this far.
thank you.
We're really looking forward to your 5-minute pitch. Your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vienna Sparks, and I'm the co-founder of MabLab, where we test for laced drugs and spiked drinks. And this was me, 3 years ago, setting foot on Columbia's campus for the first time with my wonderful parents. This was one of my best friends, Cassie, who I got to meet during that freshman orientation, and we did everything together, including signing up for our very first chemistry lab. When I walked into that chemistry lab in early October, 3 years ago, I was excited to talk to Cassie about that week's experiments and what we were doing that weekend. But Cassie wasn't there. When I inquired about why, I was hit with the reality that would change my life forever. That she had overdosed due to laced drugs, and she never could have known those drugs were laced to begin with. Yet that pain and suffering I felt in those moments of her passing was not the first time I'd had those feelings. By the time I was 17 and graduating high school in Bangkok, Thailand, headlines like these had grown all too familiar, and I'd lost 3 of my closest friends due to laced drugs and spiked drinks. But what if I told you it didn't have to be this way? What if I told you you could imagine a different world, a world where MabLab would have existed, a tool that Cassie could have used or my friends before their graduation? That's why we built MabLab and this product called Know For Sure. And we used this test strip, which is 5 times more accurate, 400 times more accurate than existing products on the market and 5 times more comprehensive. We deliver results in seconds, all without requiring FDA regulation as a Class 1 exempt medical device. Specifically, how to use this test strip? Well, if you're having a drink at the bar, simply take a little bit of the drink and just stick the test strip directly into the drink. Or if it's a drug, simply sprinkle a little bit into the provided buffer solution. We recognize that getting a positive test is a scary thing, particularly if your friend has already ingested some of the substance. That's why we integrated a QR code on our test strip packaging, allowing users to scan the QR code, which will prompt them to scan the test and allow them to contact emergency services or contact a loved one about their test results. So, what differentiates this test strip I'm holding here today from existing products on the market? First is proprietary IP, allowing us to be the first test to market to detect multiple substances in the same device. Second is a proprietary AI platform that accelerates our R&D process as well as allows us to generate aptamers, which outperform the traditional antibodies used in rapid tests like COVID and pregnancy tests, because they're more accurate, stable, and scalable. Additionally, with this future R&D that we're able to do, we're able to accelerate that R&D process by up to 800 times, giving way to tons of future applications. We've already received interest from the United States Olympic Committee to build a steroid detection kit for the 2028 Summer Games. Hello, my name is Vienna Sparks. I'm a double major at Columbia University studying biochemistry and economics, a 3-time published author at Columbia Medical School. Additionally, I'm also a 5 times founder, each time with a focus on social impact. And throughout all of my founding experiences, I've had the privilege of learning a lot of really valuable lessons, all the way from when I helped build a hospital in the real-time Myanmar border, up until reflecting on those experiences in my most recent book, aiming to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. Some of the key lessons I have built have been integral to building out MabLab. And one of those lessons is truly listening to your customers. That is why, when we first set out to build MabLab, I ensured that we did tons of customer feedback interviews. We conducted over 300 of these interviews where we saw an overwhelming demand for a solution that could test for multiple substances. And 2 of the quotes that really stood out to me during our user feedback after we launched our product was number 1, "I wish my son had had this before he fatally overdosed due to an Adderall pill that was laced with fentanyl." Or my best friend that was raped at New York Fashion Week saying, "Now I feel safe with MabLab." Here at MabLab, we're going B2B. We're selling to universities, substitute centers, and local governments. We chose these 3 partners because they buy our product in bulk and completely subsidize it on behalf of the end users. To date, we have 110K in sales from all across the States and including our first international partner in Canada and the UK. We have scaling partners already lined up, more than 30 million in revenue in the pipeline for the next couple of years. However, revenue isn't our only KPI, which each additional sale is another life potentially saved. So we're on track to save upwards of 6 million lives. And GSEA has provided us with the perfect opportunity to continue to share what we're so passionate about here at MabLab on a global stage. So at the end of the day, why me? Why MabLab? I talked a lot about resilience in my one-on-one interviews and what it means to me as an individual. Whether it's resilience on my weekly commute to and from Boston that takes upwards of 7 hours, or resilience in balancing my schoolwork as well as my MATLAB work. Or even resilience in learning the hard lesson that maybe after getting surgery is not the best time to hop on a plane and speak at TechCrunch. Resilience for me is what I've learned as a leader and as a team, continuing to lead my team forward with each mistake or learning journey that we like to make. I continue to make a better decision the next time around. So myself and Sky are both co-founders, leading a team of 3 postdocs with 30 plus publications, as well as 2 marketing leads. We're also joined by a team of 5 advisors with over 75 years of combined medical experience. So together, let's save lives with MATLAB, so no one has to lose their best friends like I did.
Thank you, Vienna. We'll open it up to questions. Anybody like to go first, please?
Vienna,
Yes.
congratulations on a great pitch. I loved learning more about your business and MATLAB. What I'd like to ask you is about your personal beliefs as a leader and how they guide your leadership decisions. Tell us a little bit more there.
Yeah, my personal beliefs are deeply ingrained in a lot of what I see in the world around me. So both from growing up overseas, I've had a lot of beliefs surrounding, we should really value a lot of people's opinions from different cultures. And so I try and send that into valuing individuals' opinions, my leadership, how we value team dynamics, as well as, I talked a lot about resilience, overcoming hardship. So if someone has a hardship, how do we learn from that and get better?
Congratulations again for being here. It was
Thank you.
great to hear it. You've talked a bit about resilience. I would like to know, when was a moment as an entrepreneur, you've had many businesses, that you wanted to throw in the towel? So maybe one of your lowest moments. And how did you cope with that? How did you overcome?
Yeah, I would definitely say an experience where I kind of wanted to call it quits was during my very first business that scaled to over 70,000 users was actually at the start of the pandemic. We had this really wonderful opportunity to share what we were working on at this global leadership conference, specifically with educators. And it was a conference pulling from all over Southeast Asia, 3,000 plus individuals. And we prepared for weeks, and then it got canceled because of the pandemic. And this was still, early stages before we realized what a massive world ordeal this would be. And I think in learning from that experience of how do we still sort of share what we're working on, how do we still, meet with our customers and learn from that experience was a big learning experience for me.
Thank you.
Yes, please go.
Many congratulations again for being here. You mentioned that you're 400 times more accurate than other tests. Can you just explain how you've determined that?
Yep. So specifically, our product is 400 times more accurate than existing products, largely because of our limited detection studies. So we've been able to compare it directly to our closest competitors, which is around 200 nanograms per milliliter of accuracy. We're 0.05 nanograms per milliliter. So, and the amount of fentanyl that can kill you is about 4, which is pretty problematic when you're thinking about, testing for life or death situation. We've done that through over 30,000 tests at our manufacturing facility.
Thank you.
Okay.
How you can, you are the scientist and your team are scientists, and how you gonna do market and expand your product?
Yeah, so our team is really great, specifically on the science side, as you mentioned. Something we're looking to improve upon is continuing to grow and scale on the go-to-market side. So continuing to meet with our go-to-market advisors, as well as one of our first hires we want to make is someone that can help us continue to ramp up on that go-to-market strategy as well.
Yes, please go.
Yes, thank you, Vienna. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that one of the biggest help that you have had in this venture, it is regulations in California, because it is a must for the places that they need to do that for the people, right? And what do you think about your role as leader to create awareness in other places around your country or probably outside, beyond your country?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of regulatory shift. As you mentioned, California is a big one. We've also seen that in Texas, as well as a lot of states in the Northeast, mandating test strips be offered in schools, as well as bars and restaurants. As we continue to grow and expand, we're partnering with local communities that really understand sort of the culture in their own community. For example, we have harm reduction partnerships, which are integrated with students, as well as leaders in the community, as we continue to help educate about the issue of lace drugs, as well as kind of replicate that model outside of the US. For example, we have a harm reduction partner in Canada. It's already kind of sort of working on that model in Winnipeg specifically, and then as well as in the UK as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vienna. You have to wear many hats. You're a scientist, you come with the product, you've also got to do marketing. So speaking from a brand perspective, what's the emotional story that you're communicating to get someone to actually use the product?
Yes, so for us, branding is really focused on the user experience, making that as comfortable and streamlined as possible. So recognizing that, hey, you don't want your friend to overdose or end up in the hospital. So a lot of that is talking about our own personal experiences as well as our team's personal experiences, which we've seen a lot of success on social media, kind of taking that peer-to-peer approach instead of, hey, I'm trying to sell you this, and hey, I care about you and I want to keep you safe.
Thank you.
How is your business prepared to mitigate risk? For example, if you would need to have a recall, how are you set up to handle that?
Yeah, so we have a series of sort of plans lined out for risk mitigation. I'm happy to show you the slide afterwards, but specifically for risk mitigation, we're really focused on, number one, identifying the issue and making sure we can prevent it before it happens. So whether that be meeting with our lawyers carefully and having a risk mitigation plan in place, or a lot of other contingencies. For example, we have one for product liability, one for legal, that sort of thing as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Vienna.
Thank you. Well done.